The wings of time are black and white, pied with morning and with night, mountain tall and ocean deep, trembling balance duly keep. In changing mood and tidal wave, glows the feud of want and have, gauge of more and less through space, electric star in pencil plays. The lonely earth amid the balls that hurry through eternal halls of make-wave flying to the void, supplemental asteroid or compensatory spark shoots across the neutral dark. Man's the elm and wealth divine, staunch and strong the tendrils twine. Though the frail ringlets thee deceive, none from his stock that vine can reave. Fear not, then, thou child infirm, there's no God dare wrong a worm. Laurel crown cleave to deserts, and power to him who power exerts. Hast not thy share on winged feet, lo, it rushes thee to meet. And all that nature made thy own, floating in air or pent in stone, will rive the hills and swim the sea, and like thy shadow, follow thee. Ever since I was a boy, I've wished to write a discourse on compensation, for it seemed to me when very young that on this subject, life was ahead of theology, and the people knew more than the preachers taught. The documents, too, from which the doctrine is to be drawn charm my fancy by their endless variety and always lay before me even in sleep. For they are the tools in our hands, the bread in our basket, the transactions of the street, the farm and the dwelling house, greetings, relations, debts and credits, the influence of character, the nature and endowment of all men. It seemed to me also that in it might be shown a ray of divinity, the present action of the soul of this world, clean from all vestige of tradition. And so the heart of man might be bathed in an inundition of eternal love, conversing with that he knows was always and always must be, because it really is now. It appeared, moreover, that if this doctrine could be stated in terms with any resemblance to those bright intuitions in which this truth is sometimes revealed to us, it would be a star in many dark hours and crooked passages in our journey that would not suffer us to lose our way. I was lately confirmed in these desires by hearing a sermon at church. The preacher, a man esteemed for his orthodoxy, unfolded in the ordinary manner the doctrine of the Last Judgment. He assumed that judgment is not executed in this world, that the wicked are successful, that the good are miserable, and then urged from reason and from scripture a compensation to be made to both parties in the next life. No offense appeared to be taken by the congregation at this doctrine. As far as I could observe, when the meeting broke up, they separated without remark on the sermon. Yet, what was the import of this teaching? What did the preacher mean by saying that the good are miserable in the present life? Was it that houses and land, offices, wine, horses, dress, luxury are had by unprincipled men whilst the saints are poor and despised, and that a compensation is to be made to these last hereafter by giving them like gratifications another day, bank, stock and doubloons, Vincian and champagne? This must be the compensation intended, for what else? Is it that they have to leave to pray and praise, to love and serve men? Why can't they do that now? The legitimate inference the disciple would draw was, we are to have such a good time as the sinners have now, or, to push it to its extreme import, you sin now, We shall sin by and by. We would sin now if we could. Not being successful, we expect our revenge tomorrow. The fallacy lay in the immense concession that the bad are successful, that justice is not done now. The blindness of the preacher consisted in deferring the base estimate of the market of what constitutes a manly success, instead of confronting and convicting the world from truth, announcing the presence of the soul, the omnipotence of the will, and so establishing the standard of good and ill, of success and falsehood. I find a similar bass tone in the popular religious works of the day, and the same doctrines assumed by the literary men when occasionally they treat the related topics. I think our popular theology has gained in decorum and not in principle over the superstitions it has displaced. But men are better than this theology. Their daily life gives it the lie. Every ingenious and aspiring soul leaves the doctrine behind him in his own experience, and all men feel sometime the falsehood which they cannot demonstrate, for men are wiser than they know. That which they hear in schools and pulpits without afterthought, if said in conversation, will probably be questioned in silence. If a man dogmatizes in mixed company on providence and the divine laws, he is answered by a silence which conveys well enough to an observer the dissatisfaction of the hearer, but his incapacity to make his own statement.